we don't stay on a specific topic, brother. We always random.
Okay.
It's mind ascension here, and
Yeah.
just as usual, here to expand, here to expound, here to express, and here to touch on certain levels and topics and aspects till we can get more clarity
Yeah.
and always continue to grow. And my whole aspect and my whole so-called quote unquote, I don't like to use the word, but for lack of a better term, goal is to get us in a nature of pure expansion, to never become content with any level that we seem to be comfortable at, or any level that seems to how would you say, stroke our egos or make us feel comfortable within that point and level, because that's when your box begins to become created.
Right.
And I don't care how big your box is, I don't care how nice your box is a box. And my goal is to be God, to be Neter, to be Netaru, to be all the different words that you can use that still describe an aspect of a divine being, and the divine being doesn't live in any form of box. So therefore, no matter how comfortable I get, no matter how much I like one topic or like another, I won't stay there, because I know I'm about expansion. And anybody in my circle, anybody under or about what I'm about, and that is with this foundation that is beginning as we speak, is about expansion. But anyway, brother, as usual, I don't want it to be controlled. I want everything to be flowing like it usually flows. So, either continue what you was talking about, or because I know we started something out there.
Yeah.
About
Nature Boy or what?
Nah, man, do no promos on here, man. About we started with the aspect of the conditioning of our minds.
Oh yeah. I was telling you the situation with me being stuck with my girl.
Now see, that's the shit that's hilarious. I'm stuck with my nigga. Listen. We went through this, and we've broken down the aspects of the masculine and the feminine energy. Okay. The masculine energy is change.
Right.
So for you to use the excuse or use the concept of claiming that you're stuck with your girl, if you notice, women say that.
Okay.
Women go, well, I thought he would change, or I don't know what to do. I can't get out. It's under. They have this thing to where they can't change their situation. And why is that? Because they're sustainers by nature.
Right.
Now, you have some of us that are men.
Right.
And we have to be honest with ourselves.
Okay.
We are somewhat more within the feminine, or not saying the feminine is dominating, but we're utilizing that 20, that 30, sometimes that 40% of that feminine nature that exists within us, and sustaining situations that either we claim we don't want, or subconsciously we do want. Because most of the time, when we choose not to change something, it's usually a subconscious aspect of desiring it or truly wanting it. It's just that our conscious aspect, which is the surface, won't admit to, you know what it's like? It's like a woman that loves to feel pain.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You got women out there that they're not going to come straight out and be like, listen, I want a nigga to fuck the shit out of me, choke me, and smack me. They're not going to say that.
Yeah,
but if you do it, you'll have them forever.
Right.
You see, because it's a subconscious thing. And once again, we're not talking about right or wrong right now.
Right.
There's no such thing on a certain level. We're talking about energy, and we're talking about the matching of energy between the feminine and the masculine aspects. So, you saying you stuck is bullshit. Because what you call stuck is really a choice that got you in a situation that you're currently allowing her to sustain, helping her to sustain, or sustaining yourself. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, we're talking about the Neanderthal for the people out here. As y'all already know, I do not condone interracial relationships. I do not condone bestiality. I do not what I like to call black bestiality, or the zookeepers, as this brother here is one of. I don't condone that. Now, am I gonna go around fighting my brothers that's laying with these Neanderthals? No, but I will let myself and let my position be known, as this brother knows. And I'm not going to allow there to be an excuse for what we all as men should be held accountable for, and women should be held accountable for, and where our choices come from. Now that's what the topic of this session should be, where our choices come from. Because as we started outside, remember, our conditioning has been to the symbolism of what we refer to as beauty,
right,
and the symbolism of what romance is, the symbolism of what love is, and the symbolism of what man and woman is, the symbolism of relationship. Fact of the matter is, the origin of all those forms of symbolisms come from the root of Eurocentric aspect, of European in the recessive mind. That is a fact.
Okay.
I broke down some time ago, I don't know if it was you or another one of the other brothers, but I broke down some time ago the difference between romance, the origin of romance, the origin of falling in love and all that nonsense that we want to feel today.
Yeah.
So the fact of the matter is, let me get to this, because this is one I want to definitely chime on. You love what you know.
Right.
You love what you know. Give you a perfect example. We all have mothers. Mm-hmm. We all are taught that our mother is the first teacher. She gives birth to us. She gives us life. All of this is facts. You're supposed to love your mother unconditionally. Your mother loves her child unconditionally. Now, is it possible for you to love your mother if you never knew her?
That's a good question.
You're 30 to 40 years old.
Yeah.
You bump into an old lady on the street. Have no clue who she is.
Right.
Are you in love with her?
No.
Do you love her?
No.
You find out she's your mother.
Well,
does the love automatically pop up now?
It could. It could depend on who you are.
On who you are? Well, explain that. Because if you're saying it could, where does the love come from? Because you know she's genetically attached to you?
I mean, it could be that. I mean, if you have good thoughts about her, you know.
Good thoughts, but wait, whoa. Thoughts come from a previous aspect. Remember, I never went into this now. Now we go into a whole nother thing, but I want to get over this quick. Remember, a thought is based on past.
Right.
There's no such thing as a new thought or a new idea. We think there is, but that's false. As long as you're under a sun, there's no such thing as a brand new idea. Your thought has already been thought of before or has already been done before. Think about it. Can you think about something you either did not see prior, did not do prior, did not think prior, or did not exist prior?
No, you can't.
You can't.
No.
I say I'm gonna think of the future, but you know how I start thinking about? I start thinking about the TV shows I saw that display what they think the future gonna look like.
Exactly.
I'm not really seeing the future from a pure aspect of looking into the future. I'm seeing the future for what I think the future is based upon previous descriptions and symbolisms of somebody else's thought process of the future.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So once again.
Right. Okay.
Your thoughts of liking and loving this person, where would those thoughts come from if you never knew this person?
I guess they wouldn't come from nowhere. I guess if I randomly saw her for the first time, I wouldn't have no love for her.
Now what you can have is respect.
Yeah.
You can have respect for every old lady you see on the street, no matter whether you know them or not, because respect, this goes back, and I don't even want to make this the same video I did before, but respect is the foundation of love. Now, here's my point. We are all conditioned as so-called African Americans, black people, Negro, whatever the fuck you want to call us. We have all been conditioned for the last 400 to 500 years of a European colonized mindset to where European recessive features is attractive and beauty to us. And then even on a deeper state, the European existence is of a higher quality than of an Aboriginal, indigenous, African existence. Okay. Therefore, as I told you already outside, what you're currently experiencing right now is a form of choice.
Right.
To take it on a deeper level, it's a form of manifestation. Because at one time before you met this white woman, you thought about a white woman. And you wanted to be with a white woman in your mind somewhere down the line. Wanted to be with a white woman. Now, whether we want to admit it or not, listen, brother, I was there. We can't deny, because how you going to wake up every day, see TV shows with even your black women bleaching their hair, straightening their hair, chopping up their nose. How you not going to want to desire who already got that? Which is the white woman.
Right.
So even if we desire black women, we still desire black women with with a Eurocentric trait and synthetic aspect of recessive features. So technically, you still desiring a white woman.
Yeah.
You just using the black woman as a form of filter or template to keep you a couple of levels from the white woman by saying, Nah, I don't deal with white women. I love my black women. But you only love the black women with the straight hair, the high yellow skin, and the straight nose, and the blah, blah, blah. Those are the black women you love.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So where does that come from? What is the origin and what is the root of this mindset that causes us to make choices and decisions as well as manifestations that come from a thought of mind, and that comes from who has conditioned your mind first? Because the way your mind works is based off of foundational conditioning.
Right.
The conditioning comes long before your first thought. So as soon as you was able to fathom what an image on a television was as a baby or a child, the first cartoons you saw, was they a bunch of niggas running around?
No.
Or was they different colors and white looking hair and that? How many afros did you see on a cartoon? You see what I'm saying?
Little.
And when you did see them, were they depicted as quality?
It was like Josine and Pussycats.
What was they depicted as? Was they depicted as something desirable? Were they the majority? You know what I'm saying? And the majority in the current so-called society and current corporation we call the country that we live in, majority wins.
Right.
What's in the majority must be the quality. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I see a cartoon, you just said Josine and Pussy. If I see that's with 3 girls, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was like one black girl with
there was
afro.
one black girl with an afro.
Right,
and they had to give her an afro to show she was black.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, not to go all over the place like I do sometimes. Let's stick to the topic. The topic of the matter is you love what you know.
Right.
You choose what you know or you think you know. I have one question.
Okay.
Let's imagine a world where as soon as we're born, as soon as we hit preschool, first grade, junior high, etc., from the beginning, we are taught the truthful and factual origins of so-called white people. Imagine a world where you're shown and you're taught that these people crawled in caves. Imagine a world where you're shown and you're taught that they derived from a creature referred to as a Neanderthal. Imagine a world where you're shown and you're taught that they were the first, and to this day, one of the only to practice bestiality and sex with animals. Imagine a world where you're taught and shown the true history of their rampant and commonplace cannibalism. Let's add all this together.
Right.
Imagine that world where you grow up knowing these facts as history and as science.
Yeah.
From a child. You become a man.
Right.
How I'm looking for a specific word. How common or how strongly would your attraction and your desire be to the same people you learned and knew of that science and history of bestiality, cannibalism,
Right.
cave dwelling? How high do you think the interracial?
Very low.
It would be very low, right?
It would
I say this to prove a point. We love what we know.
Right.
And right now, we know nothing. We know nothing about ourselves.
Yeah.
Therefore, can you love yourself?
No.
If the only thing I know about myself, you know what I'm saying. If the only thing I know about myself is that I came from slavery.
Right.
I was illiterate. I came from Africa with bones in my nose, throwing spears, and that's pretty much it. How much do I have? You see what I'm saying? How much on what I just explained to you do I have of a foundation to begin to love myself and look at myself as something that's attractive?
They giving it their own perspective of how they see you, and then they feeding it to you. So you don't really think high of yourself.
Now, if I don't think high of myself, how common, I don't know why I can't think of that specific word I want to use, but how likely am I to choose something that resembles the female version of myself?
Very little.
Very little.
Right.
Now, let's look on the other side. Since day one, you've been taught about Europe.
Yeah.
You've been taught about the Renaissance. You've been taught about the great glorious Greeks. You've been taught about the
everything.
great glorious Romans.
Right.
You've been shown movies of long, luxurious, blonde, flowing hair and princesses in towers with knights climbing to save them. You've been shown kings of Arthur Round Table. You've been shown the nobility of white Europe.
Right.
How likely are you to choose your African dwelling, bone in the nose, straight out of slavery, black woman compared to the Princess in the Tower, Knights of Templar, Knights of Round Table, the Queen of England, so on and so forth? Comparing these two, what is the most likely choice that you will choose based on this perception that you've been given since birth?
You gonna choose that snowflake.
That snowflake, right?
You gonna choose snowflake.
So this is my point.
Right.
I hear people all the time talk about you can't help who you love.
Right.
You can't help who you love. You can't tell somebody who they're going to love. But the fact of the matter is, if we were given the truth and the foundation of facts and true historical genetic facts, historical facts, European history, would we be in the same percentage, in the same majorative aspect of interracial relationships by our own choosing if we really knew, keyword, knew or know, the true origin, history, temperament, and genetics of these people?
No,
we wouldn't.
I know for a fact. I feel like we would have more confidence in ourselves because we would know we wouldn't. We wouldn't carry on like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we know better. We know we don't look at an animal and get a hard dick.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
now
saying?
that goes into the breakdown of the pituitary gland, but I don't even want to go into that now.
Right.
Let's expound. I hear brothers go, oh, I ain't gonna front, man. It's that hair.
Right.
It's like, I love to pull my fingers through the hair and da-da-da-da-da. And here we go. We sit in front of one. I love to pull my fingers through the hair and, you know what I'm saying? It just feels good to blah, 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 blah. Now, think about that.
Okay.
If you was raised knowing for a fact that what you keep referring to as hair was actually fur, how attracted would you be to a woman that had the symbolism of fur on her head? Because that's what it is. It is fur.
Right.
I'm not saying that out of hate. This isn't hate. No. This is science. It's fur.
Right.
That's because that's why it has no life. That's why it's straight down. Think about it. Animals that have fur, their fur lays against their body.
Exactly, right.
It doesn't stand up because it would defeat the purpose of the fur.
Right.
White people's hair lays against their body.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So therefore, it's fur. Hair grows to the sky. It grows to the sun. We have 9 ether hair, means it curls upon itself numerous times.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So we have hair. They don't have hair. They have fur. Now, one of the biggest so-called attributes and attractions and turn-ons to the Negro, or lack of knowledge, not only of self but of them, is this fur thing. Because they don't know they're looking at fur. Now just imagine if you was raised to know that that's fur. Imagine being in a science class and you're in an all black. Imagine if we dominated the world and dominated academics in the curriculum in the school system, so on and so forth. Right. We ain't talking violence. We're not talking slavery. We're not talking about killing white people. We're not talking about that. We're talking about just giving straight facts to students. And you're in a class and they literally take a piece of hair from a cat, one from a dog, and then one from a white person, and make all the students look at them under a microscope, which this has been done. Right. And they say, look, all 3 of these are fur. Now, from that foundation as a child or as a teenager growing up, when you saw long, luxurious fur, would you look at it as something attractive?
No.
Or look at it as the proof of their animal genetics? But you don't know that. And this is something new that we are now coming into after we've already been conditioned for decades. We don't stay on a specific topic, brother. We always random.
Okay.
It's mind ascension here, and
Yeah.
just as usual, here to expand, here to expound, here to express, and here to touch on certain levels and topics and aspects till we can get more clarity.
Yeah.
And always continue to grow in the whole, my whole aspect and my whole soul